Hi guys, it's Mrs. Saucetta. I'm here to show you how to complete your review for the physics unit test. If you miss either November 4th or November 5th, you're going to need to complete your unit review for physics. So all you need to do is click on the Mario review link. And it says click the star to start your review. So you want to start by reviewing force. This is kind of like a game board. You're going to review force, review graphs and speed, answer 4 questions, practice some more, practice some more. So we're going to review force. Just a reminder that for a net force, you're going to subtract opposite forces and add forces that work in the same direction. You need to click here to watch the video going over balanced versus unbalanced forces. After you finish that video, you'll click here to see how to calculate net force. Once you're done doing that, you click the mushroom, go back to home, review speed. These videos are Edpuzzles, so they're going to ask you questions, so pay very close attention to the video so that you can answer the questions. So you'll hit play, and then when it gets to a question, it will stop, and then the question will come up here on the right side. It tells you if you got it correct or not. 2 things you need. So if you got it wrong, it will tell you got it wrong, and it will tell you the correct answer, okay? And then you could rewatch it too. Hit rewatch if you want to see that scene again before you answer the question. You click here. This first one is about calculating speed. The second one here is about graphing, how to interpret graphs. This one's a little bit longer, but make sure you answer all the questions. Once you do that, you hit the mushroom to go back, and then Yoshi's giving you a reminder that you need to identify distance and time. Speed equals distance divided by time. Once you review both of these, you can go ahead and try the 4 questions to see where you're at. So it said Mrs. Saucetta drove 172 miles to North Padre Island, and it took 2.5 hours. I give you the distance. I give you the time. You need to tell me which of these is the correct way to calculate speed. So A says distance divided by time. 172 divided by 2.5 gives us 68.8. B says it's time divided by distance. So you take the 2.5 and divide it by 172. And that'd give you 68.8 hours per mile. C says you take your distance divided by the time. So you'll take 172 miles, divide that by 2.5 hours, and that will give you 68.8 miles per hour. And then D says you'll take your time, 2.5, divided by your distance, 172, and your speed will equal 68.8. I want you to notice some of these have units and some of these do not. So you'll pick your answer, and then it will either tell you if you're correct or incorrect. So if you're wrong, it'll say incorrect, and then you click the mushroom to go back, try the question again until you get it right. Question 2, which statement is true about this image? We have 2n going to the right, 4n going to the right, and 5n going to the left. So which one of these statements is true about this? These forces are unbalanced, which means they're unequal forces, and that the net force is 1n and the box is going to move to the right. These forces are unbalanced and the net force is 6n and the box is going to move to the left. These forces are balanced, which means that they are equal forces. The net force is 1n and the box will move to the right side. And then D says these forces are balanced, it means they're equal, and the net force is 11n and it will go to the right. So you pick your answer, and if you get it wrong, you go right back to question 2 again until you get it correct. So remember that you should be adding arrows in the same direction and then subtracting the opposite arrows. So you could add 2n to 4n and then take the larger force and subtract the smaller force of the arrows that are going in opposite directions. Question 3, which statement is true about the graph? A, the skating speed is the slowest speed at 3.3 meters per second. So you would have to take our skating distance, divide it by your skating time, and see if it equals 3.3, and is that the slowest? B says the biking speed is the fastest. That's at 10 miles per hour. So you need to find the distance for the biking line, find the time, divide the distance by the time, and see is that 10 meters per second. And if that is the fastest speed. Number C says walking is the slowest at 4 meters per second. So you need to do the calculation. What is the distance of walking? What is the time for walking? Take your distance divided by your time. Will that give you 4 meters per second? And is that the slowest speed? And then D says biking is the fastest at 60 meters per second. So again, go to the biking, take your distance divided by your time. Does that equal 60 meters per second? And is that the fastest speed? So make sure you're double checking. If you get it wrong, come back and click another answer until you get it correct. Question 4, this one's about motion graphs. Which statement is true about line C and D? Line C is a fast constant speed and line D is at rest. Is this true? B says that line D is a fast constant speed and line C is at rest. C says line C is a slow constant speed and line D is returning to start. D says line C is an increasing speed, so it's getting faster, and line D is a constant speed. So to do these, I recommend you go back over here to the physics review material and take a look at the distance time graph Google slide, and that will help you if you can't remember what the lines mean, okay? Because if you go here, you go all the way towards the bottom, you'll see there's a graph right here that tells you what all these lines mean. Okay, so make sure you're using this graph to help you on your review. So after you answer that question, if you got it wrong, try again. Once you finish all 4 questions, you're going to click here on More Practice. More Practice. Click on the gold coin to review some more. This is our gold coin. This is something called WordWall. You have a game show that you could do, open the box game, maze chase, airplane. Play with any of these that you like. They're all about speed graphs because that is a very important concept that you have to learn. So this one's all about speed graphs. So play with these, as many as you'd like. As soon as you're done with that, you could click on the mushroom to go back and click here for your level up. This is for more review. If you finish your review early, click on the 1-up mushroom. And this is about distance time graphs. You can do flashcards, you can do learning. You could do writing, spelling, a test. You could do a matching game. I like the matching game the most. This one's my favorite. Start game. So you go ahead and try to match these. So which line shows the fastest speed? And so you would have to look at this graph, which one shows the fastest. The orange line is the steepest. So we know that matches together. Which line shows an object that's not moving? That would be the red line horizontal, so you'd bring that over there. So play with this for as long as you would like until you feel comfortable and confident about your answers. Once you finish that, you can actually exit out of your Mario review and you'll be done with that part of the review. And then I want you to spend the rest of your time looking at our physics unit test review materials under week 12. You have distance time graph, slides, forced slides. You have a study guide that you'll have to make a copy of to edit. There's a video of me explaining the study guide and going over it with you. And then also your speed practice problems are right here. So if you have any questions or if you just want to join me for a Zoom so we can tutor and study together, then feel free to comment or email me.